Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It is time for Sports Dan, a really big show for you tonight. After a Cat Clash week, we got 4 highlights, 2 Cat Clashes, all on one big show. Let's get started with it. I'm J.W. Cox, glad you're here. Let's go back to last Thursday night. We had Friday Night Lights, the Thursday night edition, and oh yeah, it was a Cat Clash at Centennial High School. Both teams 3-2. Cougars coming off some big upset victories. Bengals squeak past Totino Grace, trying to build some momentum against their rivals. They had won the year before. They take the ball all the way down the field, first possession of the game, and they will score based on the stylings on the ground of Preston Myers. Into the end zone, first points allowed in the first quarter by Centennial all season long. They bounce back with their offense. Lance Nielsen Jr. weaving, dodging, high-stepping his way in from 26 yards out for the score. It's a tie ball game until Lance Nielsen Jr. does it again. It's a 1-score lead for the Cougars. We're still in the first half. Plenty of action here. Oh yeah, the tailbacks. There's that guy, Preston Myers, again. Touchdown, 14 all. We go to the second half. The defense for the Cougars would be on display, but not before a little trickeration. The halfback is toast into the end zone. Luke Clark on the receiving end of the score. It's a 1-score lead for the Cougars. It's a 2-score lead for the Cougars. Lance Liu into the end zone. Defense shuts him out in the second half. Look at that rushing total for the Cougars. 288 on the ground, 321 overall. And that's all built on the second half. It was 14 all going to the break, but the Cougars one long touchdown drive and no points allowed in half number 2. They roll to their 4th victory of the season and continue to put themselves in an excellent spot in the Metro Gold North. Out to the Suburban Blue we go. Actual Friday Night Lights on a Friday night at Spring Lake Park. The only 2 1-0 teams in Suburban Blue play. It's those old rivals. They always play important games. This was another one between the Panthers and the Hawks. The Hawks looking to get started first. After a scoreless first quarter, we're into the second quarter and a 2-yard run for Camden Royal of Cooper. 22 carries for the young man when all was said and done. Then through the air, and that's where the damage was done. That was Joe Russell to Kayvon Cager. The Panthers got on the board for the only time. Alex Ullman, the 1-yard touchdown run. It's a 1-score game at the time. We're late in the third, but Russell again. Dante Williams, 37 yards on the receiving end of that one. They're up by 2 scores. Make it 3. No drop back at all. There's David Connors, drop back into the back corner of the end zone. And then Camden Royal dropping the hammer on this one in the fourth quarter, weaving his way through 45 yards to end it 35-7. The Cooper Hawks able to beat the Spring Lake Park Panthers. Disappointing game for Spring Lake Park with just the 7 points, but hats off to Cooper and Joe Russell, their quarterback, bringing it there. 457 total offense, 216 through the air, 241 on the ground. That's very, very balanced. 216 and 3 touchdowns for the QB, 22 carries, 214 and 2 touchdowns. An excellent Royal line for Camden Royal. 35-7, Hawks beat the Panthers. That was the football action. Here are the football standings. Suburban Blue 4-2, 5-1, 4-2. Those top teams in the Suburban Blue, but 2-0 sitting on top for Robbinsdale Cooper. Look at Centennial. Maple Grove, who they beat, Minnetonka, who they play, sitting there at 4-1 in Metro Gold North play. Blaine is sitting at 2-3, 3-3 overall. It is all in the hands of the Centennial Cougars. Their destiny right in front of them. You look at it right there. They've got Minnetonka this coming week. Then they play the Wednesday game against Woodbury just 5 days after that. So they got one more game in Metro Gold North. Wyzetta's up next for Blaine. They close the season at home against Osseo. And Spring Lake Park look to get well at Tartan, and then they'll come home and take on the other Robbinsdale school, and that will be Robbinsdale Armstrong. Those are your football schedules coming up. Some excellent football games, entertaining football games over the week. But it was not just football for the Cat Clashes throughout the week. We also had volleyball, which we will get to the Cat Clash coming up. But first, more Tartan. We just talked about Tartan, Spring Lake Park in football. How about Spring Lake Park and Tartan in volleyball? Spring Lake Park, one of the hottest teams of all 4 of their last 6, headed into this in the win column for the Spring Lake Park Panthers after losing their first 8. Kayla Hoiby, yes, that's down for the point. This one at Tartan, by the way. Set point coming up in the first. Abby Bennis gets the kill, 25-13. But it was all Panthers the rest of the way after they dropped that first set. All Panthers. By the way, all blue. Panthers are on the right. Tartan's on the left. All right, we got that out of the way. Maya Mortensen gets that one out of the way. Big swing, big block. Coming up here on the block, that's no shrinking violet. That's Lily Morell right there with the intimidation and the block at the net. Panthers take the second, 25-13. Into the third, Brooke Christensen. Bang. Right there. Go to set point. And the return for Tartan, too strong. From the far side, Panthers take it, 25-13. To the fourth, needing to win it. Up early. Kayla Hoiby. Saw her early, see her late, see it again. Down it goes, eventually to match point. Remember number 14. There it is. Opposite side of the floor for the kill and the win. And those Spring Lake Park Panthers, they also beat Armstrong late last week to close on a 3-game win streak. They have won 5 of their last 7. Panthers rolling now to the Cat Clash. This one at the Fieldhouse at Blaine. Bengals and Cougars. Bengals rolling in unbeaten in their last 10 matches. They're 9-0-1. Cougars did well in their own tournament, going 4-0. Blaine gets the early point from Natalie Schmitz off the kill. Then the Cougars, they would own this first set, thanks in no small part to Ingrid Noah with the kill. And then the defense up front, double block, can't beat it. Cougars take the first set, 25-22. But just like the last highlight we saw in volleyball, it was mostly Bengals the rest of the way. Andy Koslowski says, wait a minute, I got a kill in there. But answered back by Natalie Schmitz on the ace, drop it down. They take the second. On to the third, Maddie Peterson got nifty. Drops that one down to keep the Cougars in it. But they would be able to stretch things away courtesy of the stylings of, how about Eliana Schmitz? Right in the middle, down to the back. They take the third, needing one more set to win it for Blaine. Linnea Swenson delaying things a bit in the middle. Natalie Schmitz off a good return. Oh, too strong on the return, and Schmitz right there to put it down. Then how about an ace to finish it off? Chia Yang drops it down, and the Bengals win it again. They're 11-0-1 in their last 12 after that 3-1 victory over the Cougars. Bengals are 18-3-1 on the season, 5-2 in Northwest Suburban Conference play. Then you got 3-3 Spring Lake Park, like a house of fire. Panthers lost their first 8 matches. 3 of those were just by a single set, and they have been tremendous of late. Centennial, 11 wins on the season, but they have struggled in Northwest Suburban Conference play. There's your standings coming up. Osseo and Maple Grove for Blaine, splitting that between home and road. St. Michael Albertville at Osseo then for Centennial, and wrapping up with Andover and Rogers. Andover tonight. Didn't get a late final on that one yet. Andover tonight, and then Rogers to wrap things up on the season for the Spring Lake Park Panthers, who again closing the season as well as anyone. How about soccer? We've got a big soccer week coming up, and we'll get to that because it is playoff time, and that means we have brackets here on Sports Den. Centennial 14-1-0 overall, 12-1-0 in conference play, doing what they do. 11 wins for the Bengals, 6 wins, 5 of them in conference for Spring Lake Park. So that's pretty big there, being able to pick up those 5 wins and 15 points in Northwest Suburban Conference play. That's on the girls' side. Let's go to the brackets. 5-3A, Maple Grove takes the top spot. Spring Lake Park, the 5th seed. So they'll get Roseville, and then they'll likely have to try and take down Maple Grove in the second round. How about 7-3A? That's our 2 teams. Centennial, the number 1 team, taking on Cambridge Isani. Blaine down at the bottom half of the bracket, taking on Anoka. So it's either Duluth East or Coon Rapids in the second round for Centennial, and either Andover and Forest Lake for the Blaine Bengals, assuming a win. How about boys soccer? Great stuff there too. 9-4-1 for the Cougar boys. 8-4-1 in conference play. 6 wins for the Bengals in conference. 5 wins for the Panthers in conference play in the Northwest Suburban Conference. They're all playing well and a chance to try and make a run. 5A, that's where the Panthers live. They'll be the 7th seed. They'll have to get past Champlain Park and either Roseville or Park Center, with Maple Grove being the top seed on the boys' side as well in 5-3A. How about 7-3A? Duluth East takes the number 1 spot on the boys' side. Centennial on the 2 line, so that means they'll get Forest Lake. Blaine will have to hold off Andover and then be upset-minded in that second round to try and keep things tracked for a potential Cougar-Bengal championship, but you could get that Cougar-Bengal championship on there. We got tennis still rolling here in the fall as well. This one coming from last week, as it was Princeton and Blaine, top 12 matchup there. Garber, Carlson, Sandberg all pick up singles victories for the Bengals en route to a 6-1 win, sweeping the doubles. Miller and Scheibe, Halseth and Pratt, and Merck and Baker getting those wins in doubles. Section playoffs. This is what we have seen. Bengals losing just so tight to Cambridge Isanti 4-3. Spring Lake Park, though, winning their first against Irondale 6-1. And then in 4-2A, they lose to Mounds View 7-0. Centennial also first round win 5-2. And then actually in the second round there, and then in the third round they lose to Matabidi 6-1. We do have individual tournaments though coming up with some great individual tennis stars as well for our squads at both 4-2A and 7-2A. 14th and 18th for 4-2A, and the 12th and 19th for 7-2A. Here's what we've got this week on North Metro TV. Soccer, 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 soccer. Don't use your hands, just your feet. Quarterfinal action coming up on Tuesday. That'll be tape delayed. Okay, boys and girls section, semifinals, also tape delayed. We'll have it for you. We'll cover it. It'll be there as needed, hoping both of our squads continue to roll. Then our football game this week is Wayzata at Blaine. Big one for Blaine. Try to, cease some doubts, get back on the winning side. Soccer, section championships to be determined. Then Armstrong at Spring Lake Park for football, plus Woodbury and Centennial. Live game will be Woodbury at Centennial. Could be a big one for the Cougars, depending on what happens this week. And that is on Wednesday, by the way, Wednesday, as some might say, October the 20th. NorthMetroTV.com for the full schedule. Hi, I'm still here, flying you through this show. A lot of stuff to get to from last week. Plenty of fun stuff coming up this week. Hope you can catch those soccer matches as well. Our YouTube channel chock full of all that content, as well as NorthMetroTV.com. That'll do it. Don't forget to go out and support your teams, playoffs or not. Go Bengals, go Panthers, go Cougars. Thanks for watching Sports Den. See you again next week. Bye, everybody.